Hello, welcome back to another golan-globus theater. And, it's just, I'm so exhausted, Murray.
Griff, if I think it was, what was it, our Bloodsport episode where I just joked, like, are we entering Mad Max territory? I think we're now in Mad Max territory now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We got cops killing people. We got riots and looting in the streets. We got a fucking baby bitch president. We got... Oh, and by the way, we also have a fucking virus that's killed over 100,000 people. But since we can only... in America, we can only concentrate on one problem at a time.
That's old news.
It's done. It doesn't exist anymore.
We're
out of sight, out of mind.
We're 100% focused on Antifa right now because...
They're danger.
We know there's like 5 good protesters out there, and then there's 1 million Antifa members out there. So I'm glad we finally identify them as terrorists.
Well, like... I got my take on it. I'm sure you got yours. Nobody cares about our takes because we're this Make Us Laugh podcast people. But one guy whose take I really think is needed right now is the star of today's movie.
I absolutely want Neil's take on this.
If anyone can unite us in this moment, it's Neil Breen.
It really would be. I have to imagine he's working on a movie. There's so much happening right now, and he's probably working on a movie. It's probably got nothing to do with anything happening right now.
Well, or maybe it has everything to do with
exactly.
What's happening right now.
He's very cerebral. I mean, we're getting. Of course, this is week 2 of
he comments on a lot of the shit that's going on right now. This movie came out in like 13, something like that.
Yeah, it was 13 or 14.
Yeah, I mean,
but what a fucking way to go into week 2 of our Vanity Month.
Misunderstood Genius Month. Which makes total sense because this guy's such a genius. I don't think I understand Neil Breen.
Yeah. And his movies are such a slog, we'll never rewatch them again because fuck.
Yeah, this is probably our first and last step into the world of Neil Breen. Just because it's first of all, it's like it's too much for our heads to take.
Yes.
We can't take this in. And there's really not a lot of action going on.
Well,
I mean, I wasn't expecting like our usual fare.
Yeah.
But I was expecting something to happen.
Right.
From what I've heard, because this is the first time I've ever watched it. He's been on our radar for a few years. But this is the first time I ever watched one, and I was a little underwhelmed. To me, Neil Breen is Tommy Wiseau meets David Lynch meets Quentin Tarantino because he loves to show people's feet.
Loves feet. A lot of different shots of feet. A lot of different interesting
Well,
sets.
there's a shot we're going to get into later, which we probably won't get into because we never get anything we say we're going to get into.
Yes, of course.
But I got questions. I got a lot of questions about this one shot that involves feet.
Every time we do these misunderstood geniuses, they always leave us with questions, and we definitely love exploring our questions. I think that's a good segue into the fact Neil is trying to comment on so many different things in this movie. We got drug use in there. Don't use them. He doesn't need them.
Yeah, it's like, stop clouding your mind. Stop dealing with reality. You're not going to fix your problems if you're in a drug cloud.
I mean, he introduces
Just say no.
He introduces characters who serve no other purpose than their life is miserable and they use drugs.
Right.
Or alcohol.
They're just trapped in this suburban hell, kind of like from that Chips episode where the cop was like saying, oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You think the ghetto's bad? How about the suburban hell that these kids come from?
Oh, man. It really spoke to me. What was that guy's name?
Officer Grossman.
Grossman, that's right.
Proper name.
We also get the commentary on government and corporation greed and conspiracy, corruption.
A lot of QAnon type shit.
A lot
of pizza shops with child sex things going on. Lizard people. We got it all.
Maybe that's the commentary he's trying to make with the hot daughter.
Probably.
With some kind of...
Or I think it's just because he's really vain and he wants all the hot chicks to want to fuck him. And
he was like 50 when he made this movie. He looks like he's 70 or so.
Yeah, well, he looks like if Leonard Nimoy as Spock and Gary Shandling had a child, it would look like Neil Breen. And he actually acts like Leonard Nimoy as Spock. Because Spock's playing a character with no emotion.
Yeah.
And he plays no emotion in his...
The one picture I sent you, that's exactly what I was like, oh, fuck, he's got a Spock thing going on. He's even got, like, the stubby little eyebrows.
Yeah.
Such a weird looking guy, but he is all of 50 during this movie. Looks like he's 80 or 90.
I mean, I gotta say, I'm not like I said, I'm not a convert to his movies, but I respect the hell out of this guy because he's an architect. I actually scanned over his IMDb. He's an architect by day.
Oh, okay.
Also, real estate agent. So he's successful because he made a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
And he's just like the theme of this month. He's like, I have a vision, and I'm not going to go to Hollywood and have them corrupt my vision, and we're going to have fucking Fateful finds like 12-sided die Happy Meals.
Oh,
He's just like, I'm going to do what I want to do and put it. And I respect the hell out of that.
But yeah, I mean, that's why we were doing this month. It's
Right.
just these people came to, said, I'm going to get up there, I'm going to write my movie, get a star in it, and of course, I'm going to direct it.
And edit it.
And edit it.
did edit
Oh, boy. Probably should have had someone help him with that.
Yes, you should have. You could have chopped off 20 minutes off this movie.
So we also have paranormal activities happening in this
Very
movie.
Lynchian kind of paranormal shit going on.
Exactly in the same way that Return of Twin Peaks did it, where David didn't like go overboard with graphics or anything. They were just kind of like people disappear randomly, just shot to shot. They're there, they're not there. Star Trek did better special effects, and he did it for a reason. And I think maybe that's what Neil did here.
I think everything. I mean, we're not smart enough to understand yet but I think everything in this movie's there for a reason. Even there's these scenes where like, what was the point of that scene? Neil knows.
Neil knows.
And if you,
I was gonna let you finish there, and no, our brains are fried from trying to grasp all the straws.
We think so I just want to say you're just gonna get our interpretation because there's probably a myriad interpretations of this movie, but you're gonna get ours because we understand as well as you guys probably will.
Yeah.
We're geniuses, and we don't understand.
This isn't an action movie, though.
No.
So we're a little out of our wheelhouse.
This is an inaction movie.
Exactly. I mean,
well, there's a lot of book and laptop abuse in this movie.
There is.
There's a lot of action there, and a lot of swirling of coffee.
Yeah. And a lot of cuts to him just at his desk and someone staring at him while he works.
And him just pawing at the key, like slapping his hands.
Why doesn't he ever turn a monitor on, by the way? He's always got 4 laptops set up with nothing on them.
Because of props, that's why.
So,
because he abuses them so much.
Amongst the other commentaries he makes in this movie, we have mental health and, of course, self-realization. Who are you?
Right.
I love it. He really he's
I bet he
all.
meditates.
I think he does too. Transcendental meditation.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, he probably got David Lynch into it.
They're probably best friends for all we know.
I think so.
He probably did you ever look at the credits for the last Twin Peaks? Maybe he was consultant on it.
I've been rewatching The Return, and I've been looking over all the names. I haven't seen Neil come up. I think he uses a different name.
Probably.
Like Stephen King
but with
did
an
with
N
a couple
and a B,
books.
because we've learned that that's a thing. Businesses have an N and a fake businesses. And they let us know at the end, disclaimer, fake businesses used in this movie have an N and a B in their name.
Huh. Never noticed that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, because you probably couldn't wait to turn this thing off, but it happened like right at the end.
Yes. Yeah, I could not wait to turn this off. When I watched it the second time last night to do the notes, I did it in fast forward because I was like, let's just get this done with. Can't stand this guy.
No, I got into it. I mean, I didn't enjoy it, but
Edge of your seat?
No. You can't. Neil Breen never. I wouldn't put Neil Breen to edge of your seat compared in any sense.
I'd imagine for this movie you actually want to be very relaxed because there's so much.
I was popping pills.
There's so much dense information just being cracked over your open frying pan
so much truth.
brain.
He doesn't even tell you what the truth is.
Oh my god!
He just tells you he has it.
You think there's got to be a trailer for this? What is a trailer?
I don't even know if he has a trailer. I don't know. I mean,
what does a trailer for this movie look like? Because it's probably sums up the story better than what he did in an hour and 40. Hour and 40.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Why don't we let the listeners hear what this trailer that we think exists?
Yeah,
sounds
I think.
Like
there wasn't a trailer last week for Hollywood Cop.
There wasn't.
No,
there was something. There was I think for like a DVD release or something.
I don't
remember
know.
seeing something. It was like a minute long.
Yeah, that was very poor. It was basically someone just took cuts of random scenes in the movie And then near the end, they kind of splice in some music.
okay.
They don't ever say the name of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had to go in there and say, Hollywood Cop.
By the way, people, just because we covered Hollywood Cop doesn't mean we condone police violence, so you can listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not. No one's going to think less of you.
Oh,
But they might think less of you after you listen to this trailer for Neil Breen's Fateful
Findings.
Findings.
I was given paranormal powers as a child. I've hacked into just about all the information I need. They have no idea. No more books!
You were given a power.
Others want to take this from me.
He's writing about government secrets.
I knew I loved you when I was 8 years old. All this time, I haven't been working on my next book. I've hacked into the most secret government and corporate secrets. I'm using it to make a real difference. And I'm going to expose them all. Should I be afraid? Should we be afraid? I'm not ready for this! I want to be honest with all of you. I've been hacking into government and corporate systems all over the country.
You're going to get yourself killed.
But you should be scared, because it is the truth. Act now, on your own, outside of the corporate systems and these incompetent politicians. You want to get out of here, but you can't see what's about to happen.
whatever the fuck happened in that trailer, I hope it was good because, yep, we're going to undo everything you just learned and give you the real truths, facts behind
When we're done
Neil's
with this,
genius.
you're going to know all the truths in the world.
There is actually a doctorate degree out there on Neil Breen. It's a true course you can take, and we're going to get you prepared for it.
Yeah, here's your Cliff Notes.
Yeah, so you
version.
can go ahead, enroll, take the test, and get a PhD. And you don't have to tell people what the PhD's in.
All you gotta say is I got a PhD, and people will believe anything you
Yeah,
say.
I'm a doctorate of Breenology. That's what it's called.
Brainiacs.
Brainiacs.
That's what his fans are called.
So to get your brain ready for this beautiful omelet of a movie, they open up. We're in a storage
Very
warehouse.
ominous, yes. Storage facility for some reason.
Yeah, we're
And
looking
we're
at
just
all
panning down this hallway.
just walking right down it.
And in the background, you see this gigantic, like, dictionary painted gold.
Yeah, and there's gold sprinkles falling on it. Very, very classy. Very classy.
Very classy.
Very artistic scenes.
And right from jump, you're like, what is going on? You're intrigued.
And
he
you're
knows how to pull you in.
Yeah, and you're thinking maybe this is going to be a pretty artistic movie. This is about where it ends, and then it
Yeah,
starts
and
turning
then
into
it
Tim and
gets
Eric.
autistic.
Yeah.
So we start out these two kids frolicking in the forest.
Beautiful woods. Look like Montana or
No,
something.
it's Vegas. He films all his movies. He's from Vegas, and he films all his movies
Oh,
in
okay.
the desert.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
very
I did
green.
a brief scan of his IMDb. So,
So you're well versed.
There's not a lot of info on him. I mean, I'm sure if you really dove deep, you could.
I mean,
much like what he does in this movie, he dives deep.
we're both brainiacs already. We have our
Right.
PhDs, so of course we know
do.
them.
So yeah, the boy and a girl, and they're like la 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 frolicking, and they come to a giant tree.
Look, check this out.
Yeah, did we point out that you would think the law of averages, if you just put 10 random people off the street, at least one of them could believably act like
Just read lines like a human.
right. No, they're all robotic. I gotta maybe Breen, that's his thing, because he's a director. He's like, no, too much emotion.
Maybe he's trying to tell us this world is devoid of emotion.
maybe all our lives are a void of emotion.
Maybe
because we're in our drug haze.
Maybe the drug haze, and then I think the other thing is that smoke that goes
Because
by.
I think people
that's
are-
spirit.
I think people were method acting the drug use because they were like on some fucking major downers.
All those Tums.
So these kids, they find this tree, and then they notice this giant. They think it's a Smurf house. It's this giant mushroom.
Another great graphic.
I thought it was a loaf of sourdough.
It looked like a loaf of sourdough, and the beautiful special effect, the mushroom.
I think Industrial Light and Magic did the CG for
You think
this.
that? Oh.
I think so. I heard that.
So they're holding their hands up to the mushroom in amazement as it slowly transmogrifies into a little chest.
It's a little treasure chest like you find at the bottom of a fish tank.
Yeah, very nice, very classy.
And also, not only that, some little like Indian bead bobble shit just appears next to it.
Yeah, next to it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So
Leah goes, grabs those beads. She goes for the beads.
Well, yeah, fucking Dylan was like, no, get the fuck away from this. This is mine. I get the big treasure. So he opens up and finds a nice, beautiful, black, reflective D20. And he's like, I'm going to pwn so many noobs. Got to roll
Can you
that.
explain for the uninitiated what a D20 is?
Oh, that's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a 20-sided die.
And that's 14 side more than a normal die.
Exact. Good call. That's
14 times more powerful.
That's so much math you just pulled out there.
Yes.
So he's like, I'm going to roll a nat 20 on everyone's ass when I get home. And she's like, well, that's cool, but look at these little gems. So they take out the D20, and Leah comes up with a brilliant idea. She probably saw Indiana Jones recently where she was like, we need to put something of the same weight in there.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Well, maybe I think this is where we start getting into the brain thing. I think this is his thing about conservation. Like you give what you get.
I like it. So I think what they do is they do a blood sacrifice. No, they just stuff some grass in there.
Yeah,
just rocks.
Yeah, I think didn't they put some more of those little bobbles?
So
more
basically,
what they gave the chest back, what it gave them.
Yeah.
I don't know, but she takes them. She's like, "This will make a great like friendship bracelet." So she gets the bracelet. He gets the badass fucking D&D die.
Oh yeah. Okay, so as we slowly watch them leave, we see an ominous smoke go across the screen. It's just like one little wispy fart of a gas,
and then a weird like David Lynch sound, anguished cry of a whale or some shit. And we're like, okay.
Oh, of course, Murray. She writes down in her journal.
Oh, right.
It's a magical day.
Right.
Oh.
Her journal, which is just a little notepad.
It's a little notepad.
And she writes, and he goes, and it is a magical day.
It and they just keep repeating it to each other and giggling like little kids that they are. It is a magical day. But that smoke kind of scared me. That fucking Lynch smoke. So we just cut to them back apparently in their little suburb hometown, and Leah's family's packing up the Jeep. Time to head out. They're moving.
Yeah.
But where's Dylan? Where is Dylan? Well, he just comes running out. And he's just like, Leah. How did they get the kid actor to act like Neil? That's real interesting.
And then she's like, bye, Dylan.
She's got the bracelet on. She already has it made.
And then they do this weird Nazi salute wave. It was like, everything's so stiff and awkward about this movie.
Every single thing.
And we're like, oh, I guess they'll never see it. And then we said, well, we get a voiceover from Neil Breen, which is, I guess, is through all of his movies, he does voiceover.
Oh, I
and
imagine,
like,
yeah.
And we never saw each other again. You know, even back then in the 50s or whenever Neil Breen was a small child, they did have like mail and shit. You could telephones. You could keep in contact.
We were the very best of friends. We did not exchange addresses, phone numbers. We did not write letters.
We didn't even know each other's last name.
They didn't. Oh my god, that's. But anyways, they foreshadow a little bit here.
So we just cut 70 years later. Neil Breen is an adult now. He's a successful businessman. He's got a nice suit. He's got the fucking flip phone.
He's got some kind of maybe he's got COVID because he looks sick as all hell. Man needs help.
And like any guy who's just like a wheeler dealer, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
He's talking to his wife Emily, his Russian mail order bride.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she's a spy because she's got a Russian accent.
Oh, okay. You know, There's a conspiracy going around that there's Melanias that stand in for her at various places.
Yeah.
She's one of them.
That makes perfect sense.
After I watched this with you last week, I went in and started looking up pictures of Melania in public.
She was the one that had the jackets that asked me if I care.
That was her. I'm so glad you noticed. I could tell because of the shoulder width. Yeah.
And she's like, when are you going to come home? I'm looking for moose and squirrel. And he's like, he's just so into it. He just doesn't pay attention. The crosswalk says don't walk. But
yeah. Here's the thing. They do one shot, a Tarantino shot, where there's all these people and he joins them and you see all their feet. You get an idea of what everyone is like.
You can judge a man by his shoes.
Exactly.
I didn't see one fresh white Reebok at all.
Yes. So you knew this was some highfalutin class.
Right.
So then he walks across the street at the wrong time, like you said.
Right.
All those people disappeared. They're just gone now. And, of course, a Rolls Royce is coming by. And just fucking clocks them. They're in, like, a business park or whatever, you know, where there's just buildings everywhere. So it's like the max you should be able to go is like 10 or 15. But
when you drive Rolls Royce, you drive however the fuck fast you want to drive.
I think I believe that's the rule. It's like
so
you get a special license.
He gets some more nice fucking CGI. He gets fucking splattered by this Rolls Royce. We see the nice artistic blood dribble down the front grill of the Rolls.
Yeah.
And then we see a door in the back open up, and we see these nice...
very long legs and a teeny
She's
tiny...
got legs! Yeah, we assumed this was like a porn star, like going to a date with a rich guy. And don't worry, guys. This person plays no part. We're assuming, like, okay, this is going to be something. No. I'm assuming, from what I know from later, this was an assassination attempt on Neil. But right now, we don't know what's going on.
No idea. So shoes get out, and they walk over, and they're standing with the audience, the crowd that has formed around Neil. A minute ago, again, they were there, then they disappeared, now they're back, and they're just like, hey, this guy doesn't look like he's alive.
Well, you notice they all repeated their line twice.
Yeah.
I saw it.
It was... the Australian guy. There was the Rolls Royce. I can't do it.
I saw it. No shit, you saw it. Still didn't leave, you fuckhead. It's still there.
They're like talking about
it.
The woman's
like standing next to you.
Yeah. And she's even like reaching down and like trying to touch Neil's shit, and Neil is like got his hand on it.
She wants to get the hold of the fucking magic
D20.
Man.
She knows about the power. Who are you? She's got to be working with shoes.
Apparently, she's nobody because we never see her again.
Yeah,
but she wants it. But no, his fist is clenched for dear life on that fucking die.
Oh my god!
And then she's like, "Curses!" Like she can't just open his fucking hand. So she takes off.
The scene just abruptly ends. It's just why. So he gets rushed over to the hospital, and again, we do in our scene cutaway. We have that white smoke, so ominous. Isn't that what they did in Lost? Didn't they have a smoke monster?
Yes, they had a smoke
Lost?
monster in Lost. I think this. Well, actually, Lost came first. I can't say this got influenced by Lost.
So we know he has a wife. We know that he's abandoned his old friend Leah. And now we got to be introduced to more characters who are in love with. I just want to call him Neil, and then Dylan,
friend.
and I was going to call him Nilin. So yeah, we get introduced to the best friend Jim,
who has the douchiest goatee I've ever seen in my life,
and he acts about as well as everybody else in this movie. So he's right on par.
On top of it.
Yeah, he is.
What are we talking about?
He's supposed to be like this buff car enthusiast.
I just got to explain it. His fucking goatee infuriated me. Because he had one. He's a white guy, first of all, and he had that fucking tiny, skinny ass mustache right up the lip.
It's so much so that you had to pause to see that because I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it.
We thought he just had one of those goatees without a mustache.
Yeah.
No, it's a super skinny douche stash.
Oh, I hate it.
And he's like, what? So he's rushing off to the hospital. His best friend is in the ICU.
Yep, and we get Dylan. Oh, God damn it, Jim.
We also get a very slow. This much like everything in this movie, it doesn't make no sense, and we don't really need to talk about. But I'm talking about it anyway. The slow, awkward way they're putting the oxygen mask on him, and they put him on the gurney.
Oh my God!
First of all, if you've been hit by a car, I think they put you in a neck brace. They'd be worried about that. He's just like flailing around Neil's head and trying to get this oxygen mask on.
I love it. I love it.
So then he's in. So then we see cut to the ICU. And he's
nice carpeted room.
Nice carpeted, wall-to-wall carpeting. You know you're in a classy fucking hospital, wall-to-wall carpeting. And he's got, I don't even know how to describe the bandaging on his face.
It's Elephant Man.
It is.
It's Elephant Man.
He definitely is a fan of David Lynch.
He has to be.
It's either that, or I also got the vibe off, this is a very obscure reference, but the aliens in the movie Alien, not the monsters, but the very first movie, where there's those like monsters that got like attacked by the alien, they find it, they had that weird kind of like mask thing.
Yeah. I saw that at Redford Theater for the first time last year. It's great. It's wonderful. Man, you're just spilling everywhere. You're having a hard time with your drink today. I see why you're doing it in honor of Neil.
So, yeah, so so everything's covered except one eye.
Yeah, he's got one eye.
So his mouth and nose are completely covered. Yet there's not one, but two oxygen things. He's got the kind that go up in your nostrils, and the one the mask that covers your nose and mouth completely. There's no. His face, his mouth is covered.
Yeah.
How is he getting this oxygen?
I loved it. Oh my god, it's so good. So the friends are, Emily, the wife, and Jim, the best friend. They're standing over him, and they're screaming at him. And the doctor is just like, he can't hear you right now. He is in a coma. I think he's in a coma.
Yes, he was. He is experiencing severe brain trauma.
Yes.
And then, so while that's going on, a beautiful blonde, I'm assuming she's a nurse. Well, I'm going to be a doctor.
Director of Technology was her title.
Was it? Director of Technology?
Because he tells, the doctor tells them, the Director of Technology is going to come in and check. Why? Why is she in? She
just happened to be by, and she just likes to check on people. Not too much, because she does not, like she points out later, she does not look at the name or the chart at all.
Yeah. She just comes in,
takes his pulse.
Yeah, takes
even though we have the fucking EKG running, so we know what's going on there. But sometimes you can't be sure. You can't put, much like this movie, you can't put all your trust in technology.
I like it. That's what they're trying to say.
But that scene where she's the pulse, we notice, Griff. There's a fucking bracelet on, made with cheap ass like Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, this is where Neil takes a separation from David Lynch, because he's like, let's make sure everybody notices it. So they zoom in. All you can see in the shot is her wrist with that bracelet on it.
And then who was the last person we saw with a Fruity Pebbles fucking bracelet?
I'm surprised they didn't have like a flashback to remind us that it's been 5 minutes since we showed this person. Can you figure it out who it is? Who's got that bracelet?
And then so we're like, oh, that's Leah, his best friend.
Best friend.
His childhood love.
It's weird how fate works, you know? Fateful findings.
So everybody leaves the room. They're like, he's a goner. He's brain dead. We can't do anything. But we zoom in on his hand, and we see him holding that fucking D20.
Yeah, he's still just he's supposed to be in a coma, but he's still got hand movement. So he's fumbling around with the D20. He's like thinking about rolling it, thinking about, a two-handed axe and splitting some skulls.
It just magically heals him. Because he comes out of the coma.
Just wakes up,
gets out. He pulls. They just taped rubber tubes to his fucking arms. There's no IV. It's just a tube taped to his arm. He pulls those off. So it's very easy when you don't have a needle in you.
Well, he's probably an anti-vaxxer. He's telling you, no, it's all up here. You heal yourself with your mind, essential oils, and herbs. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
And a fucking 20-sided D&D die.
Of course, a magical 20.
Well, they're all magical, aren't they?
Yeah,
you know what D&D is? Magic.
As long as you believe in it.
Yes. So he gets up, and he's wearing the hospital gown.
Oh, we get the nice, tasteful ass shot of him.
Yes.
He's like, if John Clark can show his ass off, I can show my ass.
He had a little glue gloss on there, so it did look pretty nice.
It was. Oh, it helped hide all the freckles, I'd imagine.
All the cellulite, because he is like 70 here. And as you pointed out, Griff, the room is carpeted. And then this is where we kind of get confused. So this is where our interpretation.
Yeah.
We see some nice dress shoes walking on that beautiful carpeting.
Yep.
And then it just the dress shoes and the feet attached to it just disappear.
Just disappear. They fade away into nothingness. What are you trying to tell me?
I actually thought until when I was watching it for the first time that was him just getting dressed and he teleported because he learns he can teleport later on.
Yeah, that's where we're going with this. By the way, Neil learns to teleport. Okay, So this
Well, we all can.
this ordinary weird fuck of a human being can teleport.
Is he ordinary?
I guess not. So he's going home. He's just gonna go home. I don't know how he gets there, how far we are.
Teleports, I guess.
He might have teleported. Maybe he passed out, really believed in that D20 and just appeared at home.
And we see he goes to you want to take a shower after you've been there. COVID, man, you want to clean off.
Yeah, you gotta clean off. That's the
And
way.
we see a nice trail of clothes and bloody bandages.
Yeah, he's only got the one.
And that's like a helmet. It's not even like bandages. And then Emily wakes up out of her drug stupor.
Oh yeah,
notices the clothes. Doesn't question at all.
Here's the shower running.
We see a nice foot shot of Neil with his blood pouring down his legs.
Oh my god! Yeah, you would think that his wound was incredibly fresh. Like he cracked his head coming back home, or maybe he was in Buffalo and those police pushed him over. God damn! You see that?
I saw that.
Jesus Christ! What's the spilling?
What is your obsession with my fucking drink?
It's just funny that you spill it all the time.
Fine.
You're going full Neil on me here, and I don't like it. Oh, so bleeding profusely in the shower, and Emily is just like, "What are you doing home? Did you bring
what
pills?
What are you doing home, comrade?" No, I don't think she even asked that. She just gets in the shower with him.
Holds him.
Meanwhile, what bandages did he take off? Because he has the bandages on his head.
He still has them on. And
She's clothed. Unfortunately, Neil's naked.
Yeah.
So we get Unfortunately, we don't see the Breen Peen.
Yeah.
But we see this flabby, no-toned body, this.
So I love this. This is very artful. Great job, Neil. She's wearing a white nightgown, and so they hug each other, and then they start kind of slowly rotating, like they're dancing in the shower. So you see Neil's ass, then you see, her nightgown pressed against her ass. It was very tasteful, Neil. Very tasteful. Blood everywhere.
So we learn that Neil is a workaholic. Immediately, he's back to work.
And by immediately, literally, it just cuts to him, fine, sitting at his desk. He's got a huge bandage on his head, at least, for some continuity in this movie. And he's working hard, Murray.
And he's constantly. He just got out. He was legally brain dead yesterday. And his book publisher, because he's like the John Grisham of the Breen world.
Yes.
His book publishers are hounding him on this deadline. And he's like, he was just in a traumatic car accident. And they're like, yeah, that's great. How you doing on that book? And it's just frustrating the hell. He's got a bad case of writer's block. He's been slaving away on this novel. And he realized how frivolous it is. And so he's like, I'll get back to you when I have news. Slams it down. And then he just mumbles and stuff. He's like, I have a master's in computer science. And I'm writing novels.
I can't believe he didn't say that directly into the camera, because apparently this is his thing. I think we brought it up earlier, where he's always some kind of genius.
Always a tech genius.
Always
he always
a tech
has
genius, yeah.
at least 2 to 3 laptops not working.
Yeah,
not
the other
turned
movie
on.
I watched too, he was in the desert with 2 laptops at the same time. At least he was using both laptops. 'Cause he must have 4,000 of those laptops.
Yeah, he must. well, in this scene, he's just autographing his book.
Yeah.
He's a big hit.
Yeah.
His first
So
fans.
we'll get another.
But we just see that he realizes how he's been wasting his life writing fucking fiction when he has all this truth inside.
the greatest fiction, but still, he's got a bigger story to tell. That's where we cut back, because why not, to Jim. And what's going on with him? We barely know Jim. We saw him for 1 second.
Goatee.
He's got a douchey goatee. And we're going to find out that he is kind of a douche.
Yeah, he's a drunk douche.
He's a drunk douche.
Got a drinking problem.
Oh, whoa, that's the wrong name. There we go. So he's married to Amy.
Another chick who's never going to act like.
Here's another thing that Neil does with all of his female actors. No bras.
Yes.
There's hard nipples everywhere.
Well, shit. We see his nipple there. He's got a nipple fetish. I think.
Oh, you're right. He really does.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so Jim and Amy.
What do
married.
couples argue about, Griff?
Huh?
They argue about lack of fucking.
Yeah, of course.
So Jim's frustrated. He can't get it up first of all because he's drunk all the time.
Yep.
And she's like, my back is killing me. Oh, I'm working at the bank. He's like, you always have an excuse.
You suckering suffrage.
and while that's going on, we see another hot babe in the back eavesdropping.
Oh, my
it's
God.
Jailbait Alley. We've come to the consensus this is Jim's daughter
Yes.
from another marriage.
Yes.
And Amy is a stepmother. That's
Yeah.
what we think.
I'm pretty
Because I'm getting
sure
some creep
that's what it is.
vibes off. Like, Jim's at least molested Allie.
Jim is a total fucking creep, which comes to fruition later on in the movie. So they don't want to fight because, the stepdaughter's in the house. And she'll hear them, and they don't want them to hear them fighting or
Well, we
whatever.
know she's a fucking rat. She'll just rat people out left and right.
She
Later on, we learn.
loves ratting people out. Yeah, she really
So
is.
there, we got that
Snitch.
tension. I don't know why we need. I guess we need to fill an hour and 40 minutes. because
Really?
these are the most unnecessary characters.
I guess, again, we talked about the self-medication and everything and Neil's commentary on it. So he's trying to show you the kind of destruction that happens when
It
you
just destroys
self-medicate.
families.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, Jim's drinking probably got him divorced the first time, and now he's got this daughter. He doesn't know how to raise her right. All over the place. He probably wants to fuck her.
Probably tried. And so, speaking of pills, Griff,
Oh,
we
boy.
get Breen slaving away, slapping his paws on that laptop, and he's like, pills!
Well,
He
yeah,
feels
he
the
gets
pain.
these migraines, and they really hit him.
I need my pills, Emily.
Ugh.
And then we see Emily getting her pills, but she takes a little for herself. She takes
Yeah.
a couple, puts them in her pocket. So we know-
She's got that sash, that
got-
blood sport sash.
yeah, well, no, it was a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And she'd be cool if she had a sash.
It would be cool.
And so we see, now we're learning this, everybody is just fucking in this drug haze. It's like Officer Grossman said, it's suburbia where the real problems are. People are bitching and moaning, rioting over fucking inner city problems. The real problems are in suburbia.
Yeah.
So she's like, here are your pills. Hurls them at him. He catches them.
Yeah.
I don't need these. Like, he was just screaming for them
Yeah.
5 seconds ago. So he goes straight to the toilet where you really shouldn't be doing with your pills.
And, of course, Emily, because the scene...
She's like licking her lips. What are you doing?
She's sitting in the bathroom waiting for the scene to start. So she's like on the rim of the bathtub, just like looking, waiting for Neil to come in. Neil comes in. He's just like, I do not need these pills anymore. I'm going to flush them. And, you get a shot of a hand. You don't see him in the same shot dumping them. It's a different shot of him dumping pills in a toilet. And then he leaves.
And, he
Leaves the
leaves,
room.
and then immediately, as soon as he's out of fucking view, she leaps into that fucking toilet and just pulls all those fucking. And I think there was some pee in there too. That's how desperate Emily is for her pills.
Neil, you said it. He's an environmentalist. So
Right.
if it's yellow, let it mellow.
Right.
So
Brown, flush it down.
exactly. So Neil returns to his work, and he's just laying there, and he's still kind of fatigued. He's exhausted. All this
Always
work.
exhausted.
Always exhausted.
Always tired.
Regardless of coffee status or not. So he's gripping that D20, and he's just thinking about life, and suddenly he just kind of fades away into
Right.
Murray. We've been saying he's got Lynch inspirations going on here.
Yeah, the Lynch has the Black Lodge.
He's got, Lynch has the waiting room, the
Waiting
Black Lodge, and the White Lodge. We're about to meet the fourth lodge.
the Trash Lodge. Because it's just a room with black garbage bags like stapled up on the walls.
Yeah.
And Neil is buck-ass naked. Once again, this is the third time we've seen some fucking Neil flesh. And so our interpretation of this is when he loses consciousness, his consciousness goes into the D20.
Yeah.
And that's what the Trash Lodge is.
Exactly. The
And that's where all real truth lies. And that's why he's naked, because it's the bare truth. It's the barest of truths.
makes so much
And he's absorbing this knowledge
Yeah.
through his subconscious
I
mind.
like that you can fuck the knowledge into people, as we'll discover later. But, so we get a quick glimpse. All the glimpses into the Trash Lodge are very quick, just like in Twin Peaks.
Right.
You just get a little bit just to make you really question, like, what is it? And we go back. He's kind of coming back to at his desk. They have this one spot set up. They use it 9 different times throughout this movie. This one shot. there is a chair in the foreground to the right of the camera, and there's constantly someone sitting there watching Neil work. And so it's Emily's turn to watch him work. Right. And she's just like, what is happening? Are you okay? So sorry. I don't.
Like Jean-Claude Van Damme. I did not mean to do it.
I don't know how to do accents.
So, and he just goes, I feel like something is inside me, and it hurts. Hurts really bad.
Whoa,
I gotta get it out.
Who did you channel in the trash lodge there? Oh, so Neil has to go. Well, Emily is always pressing him to go see. Did you notice this second time through?
Yeah.
Emily is always pressing him to go see this psychologist.
Right. Yeah, and his psychiatrist, Dr. Feelgood, this old white guy, who's all about pushing pills.
Yeah, he's like, hey, how's your book coming along? You know what really helps writers? Painkillers.
And, of course, that's music to Emily's ears because that's why she's pushing him to go because she's been stealing his fucking
Well, you noticed that his cell phone was in the middle on speakerphone there. Emily likes to hear what's going on in that room.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Emily's real creepy, man. I don't like her.
So he's this Dr. Field is just pushing pills like, Neil, answer to all your problems. No, these are not the answer to my problems. I don't need pills.
So, again, I'm pretty sure we just cut right back to his home. He's back in his office.
Workaholic.
How many sets have we gone through now? Trash lodge, his office, the bathroom, the hospital.
First of all, the trash lodge is probably Neil's fucking garage.
Oh, we know. Yeah, for sure.
There is a garage. We haven't gotten to it yet.
And hospital clinic. Oh, you know what? He had an Amir Shavan moment, though. You notice that when they went into it was like a mansion at first, and then they were in like some office building.
Yeah, it was. I didn't. That's something that symbolizes something. I did not pick up.
Yeah,
because he's like, yeah, it's these two like
it's a foyer. It's a foyer or so. Or, these
two kind of like metal like staircases, and he goes up one and comes down the other one.
Yeah,
something too deep for us.
Too deep for us. Yeah. Oh man. That Neil Lake is too deep.
So he's back slaving deadlines. He's constantly being hounded by these things. And then in this migraine, this fucking adult-sized bangaroo just happens. And he has no fucking Tylenol now.
We know he's exhausted. He's not going to take these painkillers. He's doing it the natural way with just caffeine, you know? He's got that nice mug of piping hot coffee, damn fine coffee.
This is where we get the greatest acting performance of the movie. Because I'm still, I could, as you pointed out 5 times this episode, I can't even do what Neil Breen does in this scene.
It's amazing. So that migraine hits, and he's trying to lift his right arm, which is grasping that coffee mug, because he's thinking.
Right? Wait, but let's say this, it's right above that valuable laptop.
Yeah, he's using the laptop as a fucking coaster. So he's got it resting there. He just can't lift that mug, and his head is just drooping lower and lower and lower.
But you just see the coffee swirling, and this was when I was on the edge of my seat. The only time I was.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to ruin that beautiful laptop, because it's just teasing us. It's just rolling. It just touches the rim and goes back down.
Not just the fucking laptop. He's like handwriting notes everywhere. He's got paper.
He learned this from Billy Drago. This is some fucking grade A hand acting.
You are dead on, sir. And so finally, his head, it just takes on the weight of a cinder block, and he crashes into the desk. And you're like, he's out. At least the coffee didn't spill, because that's resting comfortably.
Thank God.
Well, then he gets this tiny spurt of energy, and he lifts his head. Well, he turns his head, and he starts moving it towards the coffee. And he's getting closer and closer, and he's bringing the coffee, and he's still shaking. He's still shaking. You're like, no, Neil. He sticks his tongue out like he's going to somehow get the coffee in his mouth, and he just fucking dumps it and passes out. Oh, what a tease.
And then while he's out, we just get some unnecessary flashback to his accident again. I guess to let us know that's why he was doing that, because he was in an accident, remember? 15 minutes ago?
Yeah, Neil, I remember. Your face was destroyed. The continuity is ruined now because you're not even wearing a bandage. You have no gnarly scarring at all. You just look like a 7-year-old man.
The D20 healed him.
D20, yeah.
So, we haven't talked about that douchebag Jim in about 10 minutes. So, what's Jim up to? Well, when Jim's not fucking creeping on his daughter or trying to fuck his wife, he's creeping on his Ferrari.
Oh, man.
And what man doesn't like to spend his weekends just polishing that side mirror of his Ferrari?
That was a bad time to try to drink. Oh my god!
Jim's like we have all these tools like scattered. We can see a nice shot, like a pan of like the fucking hood's up, and we see all these tools, and then Jim's just polishing that side mirror.
Always polishing the side mirror. Always got a beer or something close by. I loved earlier when he was drinking, he had a bottle of vodka that he was carrying around, and then a tiny little like milk glass that he was just pouring it into. What's going on with Jim and the set
And now we
dressing?
kind of learn the real like why this marriage is so fractured, because Amy's jealous of that car. He never polishes her like he polishes that side.
Yeah.
And she's like, you and your car.
And you see, I was bringing this up to Murray earlier. Neil's got a thing for mirrors and mirror images, like mirror. You got a separate mirror person. So I think Jim's trying to find his mirror person, or the mirror person jumped out.
I think the mirror person's trying to find him.
Yeah. Okay. I love it.
He's so drunk he doesn't know.
That's why he's polishing it all the time.
Much like, because this is the whole thing about Breen. If Jim's mind was clear and not fucked up with booze, he would totally get it.
Yeah.
And he would connect with his mirror image.
He needs to stop the drinking, become a father figure, and not try to fuck his daughter. I mean, if he keeps continuing down that path, he might be president one day. Who knows? And he's got to be a better husband. Got to be a better husband. So while that's happening, Emily's bored, so she decides to call Amy and be like, hey, you should come over for dinner.
You come over, I make you borscht. And he says, sounds good. So they show up. We got Jim, Amy, Emily, Allie, and Breen.
Yeah.
And they're all like, hey, you look great. I mean, you're in a coma and your brains were leaking out of your head. I feel great.
Ugh.
But I'm so tired.
And he's
like, Allie, how are you doing? And we get the worst fucking line read from this. Allie was horrible.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm hungry. Did you notice that? She went, I'm hungry.
Oh, it was awful.
And then she's talking about some bullshit fucking like a 5th grade fucking science project about dinosaurs or some shit.
Yeah.
And even Jim's like, ugh, will you shut the fuck up about the fucking dinosaurs? Then Neil's like, shuts him down. I'm very interested in this. Fucking, and he really is. And Allie totally misreads the situation. She thinks he's flirting with her.
Ugh.
But he's just like, he's really interested in this child and what she's learning.
He's trying to teach Jim how to be a better father figure. Listen to your daughter is what he's trying to say without saying it. So he hears a little bit of the elephant research, but like maybe 2 sentences in, he's just like, I am in so much pain.
So much pain.
Need to go. And then the scene just ends. It's like, what?
Nobody's concerned. They're like, okay.
Yeah, there's no shot of everyone concerned.
I mean, obviously, he has a severe concussion. He has some CTE going on.
Yeah.
There's like, as long as we got our pills, we don't care.
So they did not get to eat dinner, I don't think. All they did was drink booze. And, I'm sure you noticed this because we notice every fine detail. All they had out was just like slices of white bread.
That's a commentary on suburbia. Was there some mayonnaise there too?
There was.
There you go.
All the condiments were present. No food, just white bread and booze. Lots of booze.
That's just suburbia right there.
Amy, someone point out this line, and so I'll point it out as well. Amy, you should try this wine. Amy, I would really like to try that wine. It's good. Beautiful.
You had too much emotion in that.
Beautiful.
And so once again, it's been 5 minutes. We got to have him slaving away, and then he finally just comes to conclusion. He's like, "Why am I wasting? Why? I'm. This is me doing it because I'm actually speaking with emotion. Why am I wasting my time on this novel? I should be digging deep, hacking like no one's hacked before, to find out about all the corruption, national and international, that's going on in the world."
These Breen premonitions are why you watch these movies, because he always has these, I'm pretty sure in every movie he has these moments where he's just like, I need to really express what Neil's character is going through right now.
It's outrage he has. We're all so frivolous. We're Netflixing and chilling while we should be fighting corruption.
So while he's finding clairvoyance and setting his path, we got to go back to the ugly path. back to Jim and Amy for reasons. Yes. So they're naked in bed, and we get the shot. It's
they're
like
both. Are they sleeping or are they waiting for a massage? Because they're both lying on their stomach.
Yeah.
naked.
The camera comes in at the level of the mattress, so you can see some boobage, some side boob. Yeah.
No nips, just side boob.
I like how you brought up Neil is obsessed with nipples, but, we just see nipples behind
He's
for
like
all the
a
stops.
prudish perv.
He really
because
is.
we
yeah.
never see any real nudity, but we get teased with it constantly.
All the time. All the time. We only get to see Neil's nips. We only get to see Neil naked.
Yes. So apparently they're waiting for Allie to give him a massage. I don't know what's going on, but this scene goes nowhere. Amy is just still pissed off with Jim.
Yeah. It's, oh my God. I hate doing these side cuts. That's all this movie is, though. It's tiny 1 minute little vignettes, and then it's like, is this going to play in anything?
Well, the next scene will, because this is a very important scene. Fucking finally confronts Emily about her pill addiction.
Impromptu of nothing. It just, they're there in the living room, and they're fighting.
He loves her 1 minute and hates her the next, and then loves her again in the same conversation.
And I'm pretty sure he switched outfits. His body language does not say we're in a heated, marital moment. He's, got his feet up on the couch. He's, fiddling around with it with his ridiculous Seinfeld faded hair.
Mom jeans and no shoes on, and he's just he's confronting her, though. And she's like, I need these pills. My work sucks. She actually says that.
Yes.
Because she's a spy, and she realized she's destroying lives being a spy, so she has to just numb herself with drugs. And he's like, what is wrong with you? Where is the girl I fell in love with?
We need to get you in rehab immediately.
I need these pills.
I'll be lost without them. Hey, that wasn't too bad, I think.
Sure.
So Neil hears this, but he doesn't give a shit. He pulls out his laptop. Well, by pull out, I mean they just cut to him with his laptop now. They're silent, and you hear him crunching away, and he says, I have so much work to do.
So much work.
So much work to do.
So exhausted. I have so much work. Deadlines.
I have to get this work done.
Deadlines.
But then they just go back to arguing.
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, now he loves her, because he was hammering her, you're a piece of trash.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I want that girl I fell in love with back.
I guess he leaves her to just think about that alone in the living room.
Apparently that ignited a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah.
Because he's slaving away on that fucking laptop. Emily walks in. That shot you said was kind of somebody watching him work.
It's so weird. And it's right at death level.
Oh my God. This is just the most... Everything about this movie is awkward, but this scene... And this is where I'm going to get back to what I said I was going to get to in the beginning. All right.
Like it.
Here's the thing. So she walks in. They decide, I guess, watching him work gets her horny. So she starts. Does she start throwing shit, or does he start throwing shit?
So I believe what she says is something about I want you to look at me. Look at me.
Look at me like you look at that laptop.
And at first, Neil is just I can't. I have so much
work. So much work.
He reminds me of the little guy that was married to Aubrey in The Return of Twin Peaks. He was always just I got so much work to do. I can't take you to the lodge.
You know why? Because David Lynch stole all his ideas from fucking Neil Breen.
Yeah. So after she's ready to storm out of the room, he grabs her. Then he looks over at his book. He tosses it on the ground, and she is just oh, you can see she is.
And he sees that, so he's like, "Oh, she liked that. Well, how about this?" Grabs some papers and throws them over his shoulder.
And his emotion here is
creepy as fuck.
He
has a Joker smile going on.
I think it's
very smile. I prefer him being no emotion than when he smiles.
Yeah,
he really scares me when he smiles.
Maybe that's why he doesn't smile very often. He realizes it,
and then he's like, you remember Flashdance? That really turns me on. And he rips her fucking shirt like Flashdance, so it's hanging over the shoulder. And then she rips his, and he's devilishly. This is what I'm going to get back to. We talked about Quentin Tarantino foot shots. So we see a shot of them embracing each other, their heads, their torsos. Cut down The feet are unless Neil Breen wears nail polish on his toenails, the feet are totally changed around.
Yes, they changed 3 different times.
Yes.
They keep.
I don't know.
switching.
I mean, we've learned that he's into feet things, so maybe he does like to put fucking nail polish.
What I
on
really
his toes.
appreciate about the foot shot here, though, is that he uses this multiple times in the movies to show that people are getting naked and ready to fuck, standing up. But you also see you see a laptop fall down as the clothes are falling down too.
That was
Yeah,
a nice
that's
touch.
Very
You
nice.
see the shirt like drop.
Yep. Didn't get the Neil nip on this one,
No,
but
did not.
we
You
imagine.
gotta
the
save
Neil
that
nip.
for the
Yeah.
end.
So Neil goes back to the mansion / mental facility.
This is probably the white fucking
The White Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It is very white.
So yes, and he even realizes that Dr. Feelgood's no good for him, so he goes to another psychotherapist
Just down the hall.
And my interpretation is she might be Mother Nature herself, but she is like an earth spirit, shaman, if you will, who's there to guide Neil in the right way, without pills, but with spirituality and essential oils.
Yeah.
And
And
she's giving him a pep talk because she knows he's on the cusp
Yeah.
of nirvana, of like getting all knowledge.
This is the only psychiatrist or psychologist who's talking to him and not hammering about the book.
Right.
So he was loving her. He was like,
right,
this lady
because
gets
that's
me.
the reason why. Because Dr. Feelgood's working for the fucking lizard people, and they
Yeah,
know this is
yeah.
the book is a distraction against the real deep dive
Yeah,
that he's doing.
If he has to keep working on fucking what do you
Keep
think?
you
his
distracted,
first, what do
Griff.
you think his first novel was called? Let's go for that.
Fateful Finding.
So he's working on Fateful Findings too, and they need that book
And
out.
she's encouraged, you have the power from the wind. Everyone wants what you have. She's warning him. She's like, everybody wants what you have, that enlightenment.
Oh, so we cut back to Neil just back at home because that's how we do things around here. Yeah. And he's standing in front of a mirror, and he's just really thinking about what Andro was the shaman's name. Yeah. He's just really thinking about what Dr. Shaman told him, and then he walks away from the mirror. Or does he? Because the mirror image is staring back at the camera. Apparently, not a great actor, this mirror image.
And so this is our interpretation. We're assuming that when we see, remember in the beginning we talked about those dress shoes that were in the hospital? That the dress shoes is the mirror image of Breen.
Of Neil, yeah. He's gone through the trash lodge. He knows everything. He's all-knowing. He's
trying to, he's like a familiar for Breen. He's trying to save him and inspire him.
Yeah. So man, so many questions. But don't worry, we're not going to linger on that thought too long.
What the fuck is that douche Jim up to?
Yep.
Well, he's giving fucking. We noticed there's also, I guess, there's a hierarchy in addictions where you can look down on certain people. 'Cause
yes.
Jim is just straight up drunk.
Yeah.
But Amy, she likes her wine, but she also likes her pills.
This is the first we've heard of it. Right. Apparently, that's what Amy and Emily talk about on the phone. Like they pop pills and then they call each other.
Where can you get some? You got to suck his dick, all that shit. So he's giving her a hard time, and she's just like, "I'm not having it. I can't take this anymore, Jim. You harping on me about my sweet pill addiction."
Yeah, I told you the bank is really hard. It's making my brain explode. I need the pills. Actually, now that I think about it, Amy and Emily both work for banks, as they said. We work for banks.
We work for banks.
We take the pills. We work for corporation.
Right, they're pawns in the game.
Oh my God! Now I get it.
Right.
So yeah, takes pills.
So does Jim? I guess just walks off in disgust.
I believe Jim tells her, "I want the girl I used to know."
I want the girl I used to know. So then we were just talking about him fucking 2 minutes ago. The Shadow Man. We'll call him Shadow Man.
Shadow Man works.
He's a doppeldylan, and he
Doppeldylan.
reappears. Well, shoes reappear, and then they just disappear. That's it.
Smoke comes through again. And then Emily, she had that Breen peen once. Like, days make no sense in this movie. You cannot tell by outfits because Emily wears the same outfit in every scene, which takes place over a few days.
Every
at
woman
least.
wears a tank top because they got to show the nips.
You got to show the nips. Oh my God, so many hard nipples in this movie. So Neil. Or she wants that Breen peen all over again. She's like, I'm ready.
But she's like,
for
if I
this.
can't have my fucking pills, I need something to
Yeah,
Get me
to
off.
stimulate my brain,
Yeah.
because that's what happens when you get off from the brain peen.
And Neil, he's like, once again, he's too busy with work. So he's like, no, I cannot gratify you sexually.
Oh, you have an affair?
She immediately goes to that. And it makes sense because Neil Breen's so hot that you assume.
I mean, I can't imagine what a mall trip looks like for these two.
And
because,
then he grabs her by the shoulders. No, I'm hacking into all the world's government computers. I'm going deeper than no one has gone before. And he looks around both shoulders. Don't tell anybody.
Again, this is a scene being shot with that foreground and then Neil sitting at his desk. So she is just watching him work and suddenly cannot have it anymore and brings this up. I fucking hate these two.
And so after just throwing that bombshell at Emily, he's like, I need a trip back to the trash lodge. So we get back there, we see that gold book from the very beginning, the book of knowledge. All of the world's knowledge is in that book.
Yeah.
And he just caresses it.
And then we would come to in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they're just hanging out, and she's Emily's like, I'm gonna. Everything's fine with their marriage.
Yes, they're
oh
back
my
to
god,
normal.
back to
Very
normal.
up and down relationship. Everybody in this movie is an up and down relationship.
Just like popping pills, you
Yeah.
go up, you go down.
Right.
It's all over the place. So she's like, I'm gonna call and get Amy and Jim and Allie. Those are all of the characters in the movie.
And then, they had some other friends, but we won't learn who they are.
Oh my god, why? Why was
We're going to have a barbecue. How about that?
they even
And he
decide?
goes, great. I also I forgot to bring this up, but I love how everybody in this, there's about 5 times they go, what? It's not what, it's what?
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. Of course, Amy and Jim are way in on it because barbecue means free booze.
Yeah, there's booze. They're there.
Yeah, and also Emily can, probably have some pills.
And also Amy can check out their medicine cabinet and see what's going on there.
Exactly. I mean,
So,
fucking
win-win.
Neil just came off serious head trauma, so there's probably so many pills. Of course, she knows because Emily told them about. Anyways, so they come over, but they also, for whatever fucking reason, invite the director of technology
Not the
from
doctor,
hospital.
not his main doctor.
Not the doctor.
Just the one that just popped in.
Popped in, did not even take note of his name, checked his pulse, and was like, yep, coma. She gets invited.
And not only her, but her fiance, special needs Tim, who is this
He was
he's like,
interesting.
hey there, Tim. They let me go without my helmet.
Oh my god.
I mean, he was like, there was something wrong with Tim.
There
I don't know what
was. There was.
And
Oh.
so he's like, hot damn, I'm gonna get drinks. And then he just walks off.
Yeah, I love how they shoo him away. And then he comes back with 4 different kinds of cups. Like, where did you go get these cups?
Yeah. He's got like a fucking Ronald McDonald cup. He's got a Dixie cup. He's got a fucking wine flute.
He's got a big gulp cup.
And it's like, hey there, here's your drink. And they're like, thanks, Tim. Facepalm
God.
him. Can you go play with the kids? There's a dog over there. Where? And then he just leaves.
So I think he got lost for a minute because Leah had to check her phone for a second. And we get a nice, very close up on her pockets. And, she's got, basically her phone is sticking completely out because lady pockets are so small on jeans. But then she's also got that notebook that we recognized from earlier. Which bracelet, notebook, they're really hammering it over the head here.
Yes.
Like, take it down a notch, Neil.
And she goes for that phone, but jostles like this literally quarter of an inch in her pocket, the notebook. So
Yeah.
it flops down. And as a gentleman would do, Neil goes down to grab
It happened to open up. This is like not a bound book or anything. So
This book was so important. She only wrote in it one time.
one time, and she carries it around with her everywhere. But yeah, it opens up to it's a magical day.
And then he's just like, Leah,
Oh my god,
Dylan? And then we get a little, like, because you were like, no, there's some bullshit going on here. But no, we pointedly learned earlier that she did not look at the chart to see who that
Yep.
patient was. Neil covered his ass on this scene.
Yep, he really
And she's
did.
like, I guess I should have looked at that chart.
Oh,
So we learn, he's like, you are the love of my life.
okay. They're in the backyard. They got the nice pool and everything. Of course, Neil's got a beautiful pool and everything. Right. They are in the middle of everybody outside talking, having a good time, barbecuing, and they're just holding hands.
Forbidden love.
Forbidden love.
Like, they're both. She's with special needs Tim. He's with pill popper fucking Natasha.
Emily, yeah.
And so Natasha notices.
Yeah.
And he notices. She notices. So he pulls his hand away.
Yeah. And he does go over and tell her, that is my friend Leah. We were friends when we were 8.
She was so beautiful. And then their barbecue goes back on. We go, okay. She's like, I'll talk to you later about this shit. And we get a nice little, like, Neil almost drops his corn on the cob that he was going to spill. And we're getting smorgasbord griff. We got the grilled dogs. We got the fucking grilled chicken.
Yeah, they had dogs, chicken, brats, burgers.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
This shit was on,
There's some nice nasty glares happening between Emily and Leah.
And Emily, she's like, I'll go get rid of the dogs.
Ugh.
So she's fucking burning the fuck out of those dogs.
Oh, she's smashing the fuck out of them.
And Jim, drunk as fuck as always, thinks that's his move.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if I can get in it from my pill popping wife, I'll get it from his pill popping wife.
Yeah.
So he's like shaking a little medical, like,
yeah.
cheers it. And then he immediately just grabs her ass, like, stop it, Jim.
Yeah.
I will not fuck
He
you.
gets a handful of those cakes.
Grabs some cakes. That's the only thing that wasn't being cooked in that.
And then Jim does an awful fucking like maneuver where he's falling backwards and he like knocks everything off the table, but there's no momentum behind it. It's awful. God, I just.
So hey, we haven't had Neil back in the desk at least for 5 minutes.
God damn it.
So he's just slaving away.
No idea. The party actually does kind of end. They do end this scene because Leah leaving. He's like, I need you to call me. I don't even know what. They don't exchange any information. They're so
but
happy.
They exchange all the information.
Oh, my God.
And Tim's like, I'll see you later.
Oh,
bye-bye. And he walks out. And so, yeah, we cut to it. Neil slaving away on that, slave to the grind.
Is this the next day? Is it the same
Is
day?
it later in the day? We don't know.
No idea.
Only thing we know is apparently Allie had just seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
Because she's in her bikini in the pool, and then Neil hears some noise.
Yeah.
And he's like, God, I'm working. I can't take any noise. So he peeks out, looks out the blinds. He sees Allie. Allie sees him.
Yeah.
So Allie's like, here's my Fast Times moment.
Oh, man. I like it because Neil is like, I'm not above looking at this.
Right.
But I do need to daddy up on her and tell her it's not appropriate. But he sits in that window. He could have closed the blinds and gone back to work because he's so fucking bit. No, he sits there, and they're doing like a whole like tease show going on here.
She
you know,
takes her top off, but we don't see it. So
Yeah.
you said we only see we only see nips. You see her brains in this movie, and she's smiling at him. And
yeah,
he
she
shuts
is
the blinds,
walking away from the window that Neil's looking through, and then she turns over her shoulder and says, "Hey, Neil, how you
she
doing?"
says, "Hey, Dylan," but
Well, yeah. So.
And he just comes. He recognizes, gets disgusted with himself, perving on this girl. So he shuts the blinds.
Yeah, it goes back to
and
work.
He's like, yeah, it's just I'm used to this. I'm used to women throwing themselves at me. I'm going to be the bigger man and just pretend it didn't happen.
Yep.
So Allie, she's just like, now's my move. Because she's misreading him. So she's just like, oh, he really wants it now. So she goes into his house and starts taking a bath.
And she goes into the private bath, the bedroom bathroom.
She walked right past him into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he's like, I must put a stop to
No,
this.
he thinks it's Emily.
Oh, okay.
Because he hears the bath going and he says, "Oh, Emily, you're home. I did not realize."
This was a great reaction.
Yeah. It was. That's where I get some of those pictures I sent you from. 2 of them, I think. Because he goes through his whole rage in
It's
this
like,
movie.
ooh, his eyes pop out of his head.
Oh, man, that was fit for a mirror.
He's like, very logical.
So, so he thinks it's Emily. So he's like, I'm going to go say hi to my wife, who I was not attracted to because of my exhaustion, but now I'm attracted to her.
But I love her very much. I want that girl back.
So he goes in, and it just so happens that it's Allie in there, and she has dropped all of her clothes, and she's
You
getting
see it because that once fucking happens in Neil Breen movie when you see the fucking foot shot and the
Yep.
clothes drop.
Clothes
so you see
drop.
the towel drop.
foot drop, clothes drop. Oh,
And
so full range of emotion.
He's like, "Woo." And then he's like, look, I understand you're sexually attracted to me, but this is inappropriate. I'm married. I'm old enough to be your older brother. We can't be doing this. He turns her down lightly.
He does.
He's flattered.
Allie is so stunned by this. And
I want to know what the fuck drug she's taking because she's really fucked up on something.
Maybe she's
Whip
getting
it,
into that
I
medicine cabinet as well. Like everybody's
Probably.
digging through Neil's medicine
He's
cabinet.
got the best shit.
So that's why she wants to get close to him. She's like, I got to keep those drugs coming.
He stops it, and then next day, next year, next month, we don't know. He's typing away in the living room.
Living room, yep.
And Emily comes in and says, guess what, Emily? That hussy daughter of your friend propositioned me.
Yeah. And you know why? Because you told her to come on over and use our pool anytime she likes.
Totally blames Emily for this.
Yeah.
This is what happened. She's
And-
like the innocent victim. She didn't know what's going on. She just told this fucking teenage girl, yeah, use our pool whenever you want. No big deal. And he's blaming her for this. So in this thing, I'm on Emily's side on this argument.
So Emily immediately is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You are the greatest husband ever. I will fix this." So she calls up Amy immediately to snitch on Allie.
Right, everyone's snitching.
Everyone's
White
snitching.
people's favorite pastime, snitching on people.
This is probably the only good segue scene transition that Neil does in his movie here. Because we go from the telephone call to Amy's perspective of the telephone call. So there's actually semblance to this transition.
We know this is happening consecutively.
Yeah, exactly. The same day. Yeah.
Same moment.
Same moment. And so Amy is appalled. She's just like, I am so sorry. I've tried to pull that maneuver on Neil so many times, and that man, he loves you, Emily.
Yeah.
He clearly loves you, and only you.
He loves that girl he used to be.
You used to be, yeah. And so she gets off the phone. Amy gets off the phone, and Jim's right there, still drinking,
Always a drink in his hand.
and he's got like a little tumbler glass full of some booze, liquor of some sort, and Amy is just enjoying a nice glass of wine.
Classy.
Jim's sitting there like, what's the deal? I'm sorry, I can't do his lispy voice. What's the deal? And so she's like, your daughter, and this is the only way we can really tell that it's actually his and stepdaughter. Yeah, whatever.
What?
So he's like, your daughter was stripping for Neil again. And Jim is just like, well, it was your turn to watch her.
This girl's like 17 years old.
She's in college learning about elephants. Like, what? And Amy is so pissed off about that, she fucking throws her wine into his face.
And he's not going to let her get away with that. So he throws his, whatever the fuck he's drinking, in her face.
Jesus.
Moonshine, I don't know what. And
And
then he's like, you know what? I've got a side mirror to polish. So he huffs off to the garage. That's his man cave.
We're left lingering very long on now Amy's wet tank top with nipples just pointing out everywhere.
Nips a popping.
There's a couple nipples happening there. And
Covered nipples.
covered nipples. And Amy she must have popped a lot of pills and been drinking that with the wine because she is not in the right mind.
Amy got a gun.
Amy got
My
a gun.
favorite Aerosmith song, Amy Got a Gun.
Yeah.
And she does. She gets this tiny little, fucking gun.
She keeps it under her pillow.
Cocks it to let you know
Yeah.
it's loaded.
Keeps it under her pillow like any smart woman would.
Right.
And she heads into that garage where we got Neil again looking for himself in the mirror. He's just trying to figure out what he is.
Yeah.
She's
She's like, you in that car. And she goes to shoot the car. But unfortunately, Jim's head gets in the way. And she shoots him in the ear.
She's him in the ear.
And then she's like, oh, shit. And then Allie kind of hears a gunshot, runs in.
And it just so happens that during all of this, the phone conversation happened. We know Neil was there because
They got to be next door neighbors.
They have to be.
Yeah.
They have to. Because Neil was sitting next to Amy while Amy was, Emily while Emily was telling Amy about the whole thing. Neil is now at their door, hears the gunshot, so he comes barging in. But before he gets to the whole scene, we have Allie walking into the room. She's screaming out for her dad because he's bleeding profusely out of his brain. Yeah, and Amy shoos her away, just like, it's okay. He shot himself.
He killed himself. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh.
And not only that, she took the bullet casing, placed it next to his head and the gun. Totally odd looking.
Did not do the thing where you wipe the gun off and put his fingerprints on it.
No.
Just left the gun there.
That's all you need.
Neil comes running into the room, and the garage, and Amy is just like, I did this to him. I pushed him to the edge, and he commit suicide. He shot himself.
She'd been working on this story for a long time.
And you can tell by the way she portrays it as an actor.
Right. And then he just pushes her out. No! Jim! You were my best friend.
He is not afraid of blood at all.
No,
he
smears it on his face. He actually literally smears Jim's blood on his face like he's going to go off to war paint or some shit.
So
and then every cut, he's got more blood on his face.
He's got more blood. It's so weird.
Jim, no. You would never kill yourself.
You were my best friend.
I thought Leah was his best friend, but everybody's Neil's best friend.
Yeah. Everyone is Neil's best friend.
So,
Leah's only best.
Griff, a lot of people, they deal with stress by going back to work.
They just go straight back to work.
So does Neil. He crosses the street, because apparently they live right next to each other.
Yep.
Back at the desk.
No blood on him anymore. He washed all that blood away.
But he's exhausted from washing that blood off. And he's just like, oh, so exhausted. And he falls asleep. Another visit to that trash lodge.
Yeah.
And is he with Leah in this?
I'm pretty sure this is the first one where he's with Leah and they're both naked.
Right.
We get a side shot, so we get a little bit more side boob.
He loves the side boob of women, but not showing the nipple.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the body double too, because we never see her face.
It is. Definitely.
So she's like sitting down with her knees pulled up to her chest and her hair like covering her face.
Yep.
And he's hovering over her, like embracing her.
How much did you have to
staring
pay
off
her?
into the camera, and that's all we get. I guess
Neil's trying to tell us that this is where he needs to go next. This is life telling you go for her.
Right.
You got to go get her.
This is the truth telling her that.
But what are we going to get? A scene with Emily, and she's blaming herself for Jim's death.
Well, I mean, I blame her too. I mean, I blame her for Allie, and I blame her for Jim's death.
I agree.
I should have let him fuck me out at the barbecue. It's my fault.
That's what she thinks happened, is that when she shooed him away, which was very appropriate.
Lord, how fucking arrogant you think that would cause someone to kill themselves.
Yeah.
I rejected their advances.
Ugh,
and Neil's like, you're crazy. No, it's not your fault.
No problem. Cut to him back at his desk. Every scene ends abruptly in this movie.
And those motherfucking book publishers, they're like, hey, I know your friend just died, but how about that book? Come on, man. We need to know what's going on with Harry Potter. He's writing like a Harry Potter ripoff.
Oh, okay.
And then he's just like, look, I am not writing that book. No more books.
I didn't sign the contract.
I did not ask for a retainer, nor did I receive a retainer. No, thank you. Good day to you, sir. And then he hangs up, and then he starts hurling books everywhere.
Yeah.
He's discussed his books.
Some of them he can't even pick up because he's so exhausted, so he just pushes them.
He does.
It's so bad. Oh, and then he starts thinking of Leah again. Oh, this is the first time he does.
Oh, okay.
Because he goes back to the trash lodge. His trash lodge visits are coming closer and closer now.
Right. He's almost at enlightenment.
Yeah.
He's just at the cusp.
And so this is the first time he's in the trash lodge with Leah. So we're really starting to think that he's going that way.
So he comes to, and Emily's standing over him watching him work.
It's that scene again where she's sitting in the chair in the foreground right of the camera, and he's at the desk in the back. It's like she just watches him work. And we get the most bizarre scene in a few minutes here, and I can't wait to bring up this scene. But for now, we have Emily staring at Neil, who's coming out of a trash lodge fucking trip.
And she's like, you think you can throw a book? How about this book throw? And she pushes the book into Neil's chest.
She suddenly is like, we're getting divorced. I'm leaving. I hate you. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why. It's probably pill related. He's ran out of pills, so she's gonna go find someone else with pills.
And Neil is like, I have to talk to my shaman now. I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
So he goes to her, and he tells her about Leah. She was the love of my life.
Ew.
Since I was 9 years old. And then he's like, want to see something cool? And he pulls out that fucking D20.
Oh.
And she's like, wow, that is really cool.
It's a magical day. Oof. That would have been interesting.
She actually,
you
know how they have shrinks taking notes. She just wrote a magical day.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And then underlined it 3 times.
3 times. That means a lot.
And so then,
while we got him talking to the shrink he likes, Emily's back at home, and Emily, as we have mentioned before, is a snitch.
Right.
So she calls up
for pills. She'll be a snitch,
especially for pills. But she decides to call up the original psychiatrist that Neil was seeing.
Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, Dr. Feelgood, because she's like, he's not taking those pills. It was pills. Right. It had to be pills related. Why she was mad at him.
That's all she talks about.
So of course she's calling Dr. Feelgood to get more.
And he's like, I could get you some pills if you tell me more about Neil's research.
Why does he want to know so much about the book? He's constantly in
the
book.
He wants to know now. They're obviously monitoring Neil.
Yeah.
So he is like his job was to manipulate Neil and keep him on drugs.
I love that he's like, I'm hacking in all these secrets and nobody knows about it, but clearly people know about it.
Well, I think Emily ratted him out because she was like talking about.
She rats him out right here.
She's talking about his research, and then that piques his interest.
Yeah,
because he's like, oh shit, we don't want him doing that.
I've got a lot of pills here. If that research you're about to tell me about is good,
and she's like, I'll tell you everything. He's hacking deeper than no one has ever hacked before. He's onto them, and he's just like, you did a good job.
You just hear him shake some pills into the phone, and Emily licks her lips. She's like, yes.
Cut to Neil taking a nice stroll through the park.
Yeah, after you talk to Dr. Andra,
got to get
shaman,
back to nature, Griff.
You got to go to nature because I
think he was doing some push-ups. He's like really working out in nature.
He was profusely sweating, so that would make sense.
Yeah. And this happens to come across Leah, who's great minds think alike.
Fateful findings.
Fateful. And he's like, Leah, how are you? Well, I just broke up with Tim. He was just too slow for me. So I'm available. And he's like, oh, my wife, she's still alive. But they confess their love. I knew ever since we were 8, we were made for each other.
That magical
I know,
day.
too, even though I look 30 years younger than you.
Oh. So in between them kind of confessing their love, we're getting some intermittent shots. And this was some good camera work by Neil, some good editing, because we're realizing this is happening simultaneous. Right. One love grows, another fades. Right. Emily's back at home. Dr. Feelgood must have swung by because it was like 5 minutes between. Yeah. Right. So he dropped off a boatload of pills, and Emily's in a bad place. She's thinking about divorce. She's trying to cope with the fact that she needs these pills. And she thinks that
I think she feels kind of disgusted that she betrayed Neil. I think she purposely kills herself. I don't think this is an accidental overdose.
I think so, too. I mean, why else would she be drinking so heavily with it?
Right.
Because she's got that wine glass. She's got like a gallon wine glass, and it's fucking full. Right. She knows where she's going.
It's the first time in her life she finally gets some integrity and offs herself. And while that's going on, Neil couldn't be bothered. He's found the love. They finally confessed they love each other. So they go, hey, let's go back to that magic mushroom.
They go all the way out there, yeah.
Yeah. And they return. This is where I get kind of confused.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so
so confused
they
there.
find the magic mushroom still there under that tree.
Yep.
Did you notice there's also the cow skull that moved and watched them?
Yes. I meant to put it in the
Yeah.
notes, but oh yeah.
And it's
Why?
been there still for 30 years, never left. And they find it, they open it up, and then I think they put the dye back
They
there.
did.
And somehow he gets it back.
I have no idea what the continuity of this scene was supposed to be. If it was supposed to be at the end of the movie, if we saw maybe what happened was they flash forward and then backwards, but I have no clue. But
I
he
don't
puts
know,
it back
bud.
in
like,
there.
Like
and
every
buries
kind of
it.
a good D&D session, you're pretty horny at the end of it.
Oh, big time! Yeah.
So
man.
he gets up, and every woman in this movie has spaghetti straps, tank tops on.
Yeah.
So he pulls her straps down. Doesn't expose anything.
Oh.
Just pulls them down.
So yeah, you could still see them like hovering on her arm, but clearly, yeah, you got a
And
little bit more
then-
chest showing because those
Right.
tiny strings are no longer in the way.
And did she rip his shirt? I don't know. Did he just take it off?
He takes it off.
He undoes it.
Emily's the feisty one.
Okay.
Leah's a little bit more reserved. You
Demure.
know? Yeah.
And so he undoes it and then exposes that green nip.
Yeah, he's got like a yellow button up on, so he starts unbuttoning it.
That's all he
and
wears.
Exposes it.
Mom jeans, button-down shirts.
Yeah. He wears a t-shirt one time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so we get that fucking. You're just mesmerized. He's got a little bit of fucking peck jelly on the nip.
Yeah. They like do this weird embrace where he makes sure that his right side of his body, like his left side's leaning in for the hug, his right side is just flapping out there so we can see
He's
that
literally. You can at
nipple.
least see him watching the monitor to see that he's in frame. And then, like you pointed out, we know they're going to go down to Bone Town because cut to the foot shot, shirts drop.
Oh my god.
So they fuck right on top of that magic mushroom.
And as he's in his pure ecstasy, his love of his life has whooshed back in. He's turned into a 7-year-old man. She has been stuck in a 27-year-old's body. He's like, I've hit the fucking jackpot. Comes home to tell Emily, you know,
Yeah, get your fucking shit out of my house.
your pain-loving ass is leaving. Comes into the bedroom. There she is, dead.
And then he kind of pretends to feel distraught. He's doing that Joker grin. Was like, no, Emily.
He starts whispering to her like, you should know.
Well, no,
What was
There
it?
was that scene where he screams no, but the sound cuts out.
Yes,
He's like,
very,
his mouth's
very.
like,
Yeah.
no.
It was very
Oh my
tasteful.
God.
Very tasteful how he did
Well, 'cause
that.
I don't think he can physically scream. I think, and he forgot to dub it in.
So he's caressing her very much.
As he's just smiling, thinking about fuck. He's massaging that D20.
He's looking around the room like, I'll take that down. I'll take that down. I'll switch to this side of the bed and make Leah sleep on that side of the bed because I've
Now I can
always liked
finally
that
have
side.
my the beds that have like the numbers. He's like, you can all be 5 now.
Sleep-o-matic or sleep. I forget what that.
He
fucking
loves
called.
it, and he's just like,
I haven't watched enough TV
and he
lately.
stares off, rubbing that fucking D20. It's back again magically.
Oh yeah, he's back at his desk. He texts somebody. He texts somebody, and then he audibly says into the phone, "Emily is dead." Tosses the phone on the desk, and then just flirts around. But it's like, where did the D20 come
But
from?
now that he's got all this dead weight out of his life, he's ready to finally. He's reached enlightenment.
I
And
like dead weight. I like how you did
and
that.
he's ready. No pun intended.
Jim's dead. Fucking Amy's probably hit the road running because she's going to be suspect for murder. Allie's just too busy with school.
Yeah.
So
Too
he's
busy with
almost
elephants.
got rid of all the dead weight.
And he's ready to, but he's one more trip to his shaman.
Yeah.
He needs that one last boost of confidence. And she's like, finally, you've reached it. You're ready to go. You're ready to expose the lies, that all this corruption.
Oh, and that you're dead on. That was the top off he needed. So he fucking rushes home, I imagine, because he's just home again. Right. This is he's wearing a different shirt and everything. He's wearing a sleeveless shirt.
This is the bizarrest scene. Is this the one you were talking about?
Yes. So this is our classic shot of him working at the desk. You got the chair in the foreground, but now Leah has taken Emily's place.
Right. Adoringly watching him.
As he fucking... Oh my god, I just love this scene so much. He is...
Can you get it out?
I can't even get over this scene. It's so weird. Can you do it?
Yeah, so he has a plate of raw spinach with nothing added to it at all, not even some salt and pepper, and he's just devouring it and staring into her eyes like a madman.
It's like a fucking turtle eating greens.
This is the bizarrest scene. Why is it here? And then he places it on top of some papers.
Well, while he's eating it and chewing it, again, like a fucking turtle, he sticks his neck out to grab the leafy greens. And then it cuts to Leah's facial reaction. And she's grinning like, this is great. I'm glad I gave up Tim to date this fucking brain-dead idiot.
And they're both just loving the spinach.
Yeah, it's going back and forth, and they're smiling. And then, he puts the spinach on these files.
And it falls over, and it's such a great, pratfall.
And so now that they've broken the ice and whatever the fuck that scene was for.
And then he gets deadly serious.
All the blood returns to his brain.
And he's like, look, Emily, I have found...
Not Emily, Leah.
Leah. Well, fuck you, because you wrote Emily.
Yeah, I did. I wrote Emily
Leah.
everywhere.
Emily, I have gone deeper than any hackers. I'm ready now to expose the corruption, national and international. No one knows about this but you and me. And then literally 2 seconds later, others have found out. Well, you just said nobody knows.
Again, Neil is fucking insane. And so this next scene, again, no clue, space and time, where, how, what is happening.
I told you before we started recording, I didn't know what was going on with the scene because we get 10 minutes of the side of Neil's garage.
Yeah.
It's just like a white stucco finish, and I'm like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
I literally had no idea what I was looking at. Are they out back in the mountains? I don't know what was going on. And then it's for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then Leah finally walks into frame.
We do get a shot of a questionable looking
we
gentleman.
have a nefarious looking guy because he's wearing a ski mask and all black.
Yeah.
But he's white, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's probably one of the rioters.
So, he's Antifa. He's definitely Antifa.
Yeah.
And he's got it's like fucking rubbing alcohol, but it's supposed to be like chloroform.
It's isopropyl alcohol. That's why the label was turned, so you couldn't see it.
And he's pouring it into, we know what that means. We've seen enough cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Pouring it into a rag, and he sneaks up on her, puts it over her mouth.
Yeah, it takes a little while, and she struggles a little bit, and she just so happens that he's wearing the double-pocketed hoodie, not the single pocket, like the zip-up hoodie.
Right.
And so she knocks a card out of his pocket. It just so happens. And
what's up with these pockets and people having them just dangling out?
Everything valuable in this movie is dangling out of a pocket.
Right.
It's so ridiculous.
And then we get this bizarre scene where Neil is literally 10 feet away from his front door, calling Leah to tell her he's home. Leah, I am home.
Again.
Why won't you pick up? Where are you? I'm worried about you,
I'm
Leah.
getting very
I'm
worried.
outside right now.
Outside of our house. He's already referring to it as our house. Did we have some time happen in between our last scene with the spinach, the great scene where he revealed all the truth? Because they go from that to her walking back into the house, and then he was apparently elsewhere too, coming back to the house. Makes no fucking sense. But yeah, she leaves her purse behind. You have left your purse behind.
That seems strange.
And now I'm realizing, and he finds that card. And he keeps talking into the voicemail. Her phone is probably in her purse. And even if it were in her pocket, we know how small her pockets are, so it fell out.
It definitely fell out.
But he's leaving a voicemail just in case the robbers want to, check in or something.
He likes to leave a lot of long-winded voicemails with her because he does later, too.
He's that guy, yeah. He's definitely that guy.
So he's got the card. He's got all the info. It's like, kidnap girl here. Bring her to B. Bring her here. C. Don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk.
So he goes to the storage facility where she's apparently being held hostage.
Yeah. I love how this was set up because it's in the parking lot, and they just got one of those portable trailer type deals.
Yeah.
And so it's got that one hinge to open up. I don't know what those are called. I don't know how to describe things. Doesn't matter. But the fucking junkie who captured her, he
once again, the evils of alcohol and drugs, dude. He can't even do his job right.
I wonder if he took some of that chloroform, the isopropyl alcohol.
He was definitely huffing some
shit.
There was a brown paper bag by him.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he's fucked up, and Neil's making all kinds of noise. He's like yanking on that fucking.
Well, he picks the guy up and he starts shaking him like a 7-year-old man could do to anything, and he's telling him, "Where's Leah? Who do you work for?" And he's just like, "I don't know. I don't even know what happens to this guy. Does Neil punch him?"
Yes, he punches him and just throws him down.
Huh.
And then Neil, he's like, "Give me the key. I don't have any keys. I don't know."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Huh." So he punches him, knocks him out, and then he just stands in front of that door. He's like, "I guess I got to do this the hard way."
He calls to Leah, and Leah hears him.
Whatever you do, don't open your eyes, which is good because she's blindfolded.
Yeah.
And he fucking teleports right through that door.
Oh my God! Was he the shoe man from earlier? Has he become the shoe man from
I
earlier?
don't know. Dylan Doppelganger?
Dylan Doppelganger.
Dylan Ganger? I don't know. I don't think we ever will know unless we talk to the man himself.
Yeah,
which will never happen because we're never going to do another Neil Breen movie.
Fuck yeah.
But
no more Neil.
He's like, Leah, he's finally reached enlightenment. He can do Jedi shit now.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need you to trust me. I'm going to put your blindfold. Well, I don't know why he doesn't show her this.
I don't.
But he puts the blindfold back on. Maybe because it's like she'll be so freaked out it'll fuck up his concentration and they'll get stuck like in the fucking.
Or maybe they walk into some other plane and he doesn't want her to see that.
Maybe.
Like
I don't know.
To us, it looks like 1 second, but maybe when you cross that threshold,
you might be onto something.
Smoke.
So they teleport right back through it,
and then
go home.
We don't need to discuss this. Nothing. We just Neil's back at home. Allie's in their home.
He's got those deadlines, man.
Yeah, Allie is in their home again, which she was told strictly do not come over here. But I guess with all the suicide rules are out the window.
Right.
So she's like in their house. Neil's like,
she's thinking like maybe this can get me in with Neil. She's like,
he's got a dead wife. He's probably a little lonely. Wants to get out. A little of that frustration.
Maybe she's a little. Maybe
Oh.
she thinks Neil doesn't want her because he wants Amy, so she throws her under the bus.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So yeah, Amy I hate these names. Allie is there, and Neil I think does say you're not supposed to be here.
You did. What did I tell you?
Yeah, and she's like, well, I just wanted you to know that my dad didn't kill himself. And Neil's like, what? You hacked all the governments?
He does. What? He does a what there?
He does a what?
It's like, what?
So you would think that this means that he's going to solve the murder or call Amy out. Nope, this is just gone.
He's got bigger fish to fry. So he's like, well, do what you got to do, and
go.
ushers
Why
her
don't you
out.
just go tell the police or something? Don't bother me with this.
So we get back, like you pointed out. He finally got to buy that bed he always wanted with a leather headrest.
Yep.
So it's for a tasteful white leather. And him and Amy both set at 5.
Yeah.
Posturepedic.
There it is.
And she's lying on her stomach topless.
Yep.
Like all women sleep.
Like all women sleep.
And he takes like 5 hours to sneak out of this bed. Was he naked under there and he didn't want to show anything? I don't know, because it took forever for him to get out of this fucking bed.
I don't know. From what we've seen, Neil loves showing off his body. He's very
But while
proud.
he's in bed, we see fucking Shadow Man, and he starts, much like Griff, he starts rifling through shit that's not his property. He's like going through that whole office of Neil's. I don't know what this scene is supposed to mean. Like, I don't know if he's looking for something. I don't know if he's trying to help Neil or hurt Neil.
I feel like he can absorb knowledge super fast. So he's going through. Maybe he's like circling things for Neil, like you're on the right path
That
here.
could be, yeah.
Like just trying to speed up his knowledge. You know?
Then he disappears, and then
especially if he is the Dylan doppelganger, like we kind of think he is.
So the white smoke appears once again.
Yeah.
And the evil is afoot. So Neil gets out of bed. He has that premonition.
It's 6 a.m., so of course nobody is awake. It's bright as fuck out, by the way. Like even when he's leaving the house, it's just sun. They are in Arizona, so that makes sense. Vegas, excuse me.
Nevada.
Wow.
Look, they look the same. This one is gambling.
Yeah.
Illegal horse. And so he gets in his car.
Premonition.
And gives another rambling voicemail. Leah, I'm sorry. I know you're distressed that I'm not in bed with you right now, but I promise this is important. We get a nice shot of his pasta and the voice and his phone. Did you see that?
What's that?
We get a picture of his phone in the kitchen with a thing of pasta.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds. Angel hair. He's got them all.
That's right. He had this artistic, it's like potpourri pasta.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
Don't worry. I'll be back. There's something I need to do. It's very, very important. Like, it fills her fucking voicemail up with that shit.
Yeah.
You could have just said, I went out to get some milk. I'll be back.
Right. Or left a little note. Hey, love you. See you in a little bit. I got to go out and do some book stuff or something. He's
Even
got
the
a million
shaman left a
excuses.
note when she disappeared.
You're right. She did. So, Murray, they're driving through. He's driving around, and I'm like, man, this shit's starting to look kind of familiar. Where does he end up?
Well, if you're you're looking for enlightenment, you got to go to, and you're in the desert. You got to look for Red Bluff.
No shit.
We
Did
learned
he-
that from Knight Rider.
I want to believe there's a scene on the editing floor where he talked to the same Native American that helped Mitch find it.
Not only
Not
that,
Mitch.
Griff, he got infrared vision to find it.
He got infrared.
That's one of his new powers.
That's one of his new powers. I
Teleportation,
wish we had
infrared
Neil
vision.
Breen vision for that moment.
He sees the Red Bluff, and right in front of that Red Bluff is that gold book, the golden ticket. All of knowledge, all of man's knowledge is in that book.
Oh man.
And I think he like screams that. He's like, "What do you want me to do?"
Yeah, he does. Oh.
Guide me. And then the book just disappears.
And then he just disappears, and he's back at home, in bed. What day are we? Is it the same day? Has Leah not woken up?
That chloroform was rough, man. That put her out for a few days.
She is not distraught at all, by the way. We don't even... I think she's dead. We don't see her wake up the rest of the movie.
No, we do see her at the very end.
We do.
But that could be a fantasy. I don't know.
You're right. We do. She just kind of like walks up, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
they're both sleeping, and then fucking Doppeldylan shows up again and just bleeds everywhere for some reason. I guess his job is done. He
Yeah.
died for Neil's sins. I don't know what. We just see some feet and blood splattering everywhere.
And again, this is like another morning, so we're on the third wake up scene. Is it the same day? Is it different days?
I don't know.
And so yeah, we get the shadowy man, the possible Dylan doppelganger. Are they calling back to that time earlier in the movie when he came home bleeding profusely? Because it's kind of like that.
I don't know. I don't know if the Doppeldylan took his fucking wounds upon himself because Neil's so important. I don't know.
But
It's open to interpretation.
What I really am disappointed about, and if I ever met Neil Breen, here's the question I would propose to him. So Leah and I want to call him Donald now for some reason. Leah and Neil wake up, and Leah's she is a little worried because she looks, and on top of her has been placed a little golden tassel.
Yeah, like it would be the end of a graduation cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Neil was just like, it's okay. Our friend came in during the night, bled everywhere, and left this for us. So he knows about the guy. So
That was the signal.
yeah. So back when they got the original treasure, she wrote, "It's a magical day." So here's what I want to ask Neil. What does she write in that notebook? Because we know she has not put anything else in it. What does she write about this day?
It's another magical day.
It's another magical day.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the signal. It's
That's
time.
the name of his first book. It's a magical day. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I bet you're
Yep.
right. And so that's the signal to finally release all this knowledge to the world. Stop hoarding it, Neil.
Yeah.
Let it flow.
It's a very I wanted to say Finding Forrest or out of the woods. What was the
I have no idea.
Steven Seagal movie where he was Forrest Taft?
Oh, fuck.
Out for Justice?
On dangerous deadly ground.
On Deadly Grounds, because they had that long speech at the end where he stood up at a
Yes,
podium.
I forgot about that, yeah.
This is his Steven Seagal on Deadly
So
Grounds
he calls
moment.
all the media, and they arrive for some reason. They this lunatic from nowhere. He's like in front of like fucking Lincoln Memorial or some
Yeah.
shit like that.
If you look for a highlight reel, way better way to indulge in these movies, don't watch them. Just watch some of the highlight reels, and you'll get it. But he's standing in front of a green screen, and they have like some kind of Washington Monument behind him. So he's
Back at a podium.
He's got the podium. He's got everybody came out. The fake news media.
All 7 people in the Jewish-run fake news media.
Yes. They're all there.
George Soros is there. All of the fucking people.
And apparently he put a call in to all the perpetrators as well of
Yes.
these dastardly deeds. So he's got them all there.
All of them.
Yeah. And they're even going to step up to the mic in a minute.
Senators, president of the bank.
Yep.
Everybody.
Corporation guy.
Insurance guy.
Insurance guy, yeah.
They got the fucking Geico. They got Flow.
They did have the Geico. It was because of the medical stuff, you know?
Right. They
God
had them
damn.
all those evil fucks.
All the fake news, all the
And
pill
he
pushers.
goes, this Dungeon and Dragons 20-sided die contains all the truths. This has all the files, all the documents that are going to take down all of the corruption in the world.
The bad businessmen. That's all I got.
The bad politicians, the people that run pizza parlors with child sex rings under them. Epstein didn't kill himself. That's the one truth he lets us all know.
Oh.
Lizard people. And then you see all those scumbag president of the bank, senators, they're sweating.
Yeah, the president of the bank, they have all come to terms
Jig is
with
up,
this.
Griff.
Yeah, they come to terms with it, and they step up to the mic, and they're just like, he's right. He's got us red-handed. We saw all the information. He took us to the trash lodge.
All we needed, Griff, was just someone to come up with a Dungeon Dragons die and just say I have the truth, and they'll just fold
Do you remember a while ago, and way off tangent here, when there was a Pepsi commercial where there was rioting happening, and then Kylie Jenner or whatever the fuck her name is.
Where was she fucking last week?
So I saw a video the other day.
First of all, I would get more furious if someone gave me a Pepsi. I'd throw it at her fucking face. But yeah.
So I guess the other day someone took a video of this, but a guy opened a Pepsi and took it to some of the riot police in one of these cities where we were having not riot protests, and offered it to the cop, and the cop refused. In fact, I think they even brandished their club.
I don't think even I would take an open.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, you should have brought a Coke to that fight because
Right.
everyone wants a Coca-Cola.
Right. And so the lizard people just fucking fold, and they're like, "The jig is up. That's it. We've even found out."
We even get a moment where we see each of them admitting it's up and killing themselves.
Uniquely killing themselves.
Well, a couple different people shoot themselves,
Yes.
but for the most part, it is all unique.
One shoots himself with Amy's gun, I want to point out.
Amy's gun in front, at the presser, in front of everybody.
Right. He was like a senator. Then we had a Wall Street guy who slit his wrist with a steak knife.
Yep, he went into the bathtub.
He was in the bathtub, and he had a fucking bottle of not bottle. He did have a bottle, and he had a glass of whiskey in the soap dish holder.
Yep, I like that.
And then we get a woman who probably Planned Parenthood or one of those scams.
Yeah.
Who carbon monoxide poisoning in her garage.
Yep, that's right. No, that was the black gentleman.
No, he takes pills and slowly falls forward into his steering wheel.
Okay.
Slowly, so he doesn't hurt himself.
So there was 2 in the car.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't, okay.
But one was carbon monoxide, one was pills.
And I remember one guy...
hung himself.
One guy hung himself.
I think it was autoerotic asphyxiation is how he killed himself.
Yeah.
But
I thought there was a guy who stuck a fork in an outlet.
guy did that, somebody threw a toaster in a bathtub.
Yep. A lot of bathtub kills.
They did everything. And so that's it, Griff. The problem solved.
Hey, you do have to point out it comes to nothing, of course,
Well,
most things in this movie, but a man did try to assassinate.
Yes.
He was just wearing green fatigues, and he tries to shoot Neil.
And then somehow he gets shot.
He gets shot. You hear the gunshot, and you
can tell he's assassin because he's on a grassy knoll.
Yeah. But yeah, you hear a gunshot. It cuts immediately to Neil, where you think he's going to be bleeding.
Dude, Neil's got the Matrix.
Yeah.
He fucking made the bullet go around and hit that
could have
guy.
been it.
And so it's nothing can stop this guy. He's Jesus. He's here to the new age of enlightenment where we're all going to be equal and we're not going to care about material goods. So his job is done. So now he's earned his rest.
Yeah.
So him and Leah are going to go back to the fucking forest, back to that tree. But as they're doing it, you're... And you hear that, you see that awful CGI of white smoke, and Neil looks off, and we're left, Griff. the battle between good and evil never stops, Griff. It's a
doesn't.
yin-yang thing.
It doesn't.
But Neil will always be vigilant. He'll always be there for us. And that's what he lets us know.
Oh, my God. I
Wow.
never want to watch a Neil Breen movie ever again in my life.
So we're going to be doing another Neil Breen movie next week.
I mean, I guess if people were like, that was the best work ever.
Yes, if we get 100 downloads in the first week, then we'll do one.
Yeah.
If not, fuck you.
I like that. Tall order and
Right.
yeah.
If you can make that happen.
Oh.
So, my mind has been so blown this week. I need some good old dumb shit to like come down on. So and we got the perfect movie next week because Griff, this movie, it's got music,
I like that.
it's got martial arts,
Love that.
and most importantly, it's got friendship and the importance of friendship.
I like friendship.
Next week, we're doing the classic Miami Connection.
Oh, yeah.
I found out I'm never prepared. I don't know the guy's name. He did not direct it, but he did star and write this movie.
Okay.
We'll know all the deets next week. I'm sorry, I don't know them, but my mind's just been blown from all this knowledge I got from Neil Breen.
Yeah, it's too hard to balance Neil Breen's diet with everything else.
So next week we have some good, clean fun with the Miami Connection, and we'll, as always, keep it warm.